It's Keating Roofing Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet.
The Skeeza schools have been at it since about June, rolling right on through here with Keating Roofing Friday Night Rivals and a little bit of a budding rivalry as Ben Lippen makes the trip from Columbia down to James Island to take on the Hurricanes of First Baptist. Thanks for joining us tonight. Glad you're with us. Darren Goldwater, good buddy Dean Stevens, Channel 4's main anchor, and you look at this game, they've played now 4 times in the last 2 years alone, and the last one is the only time that Ben Lippen beat First Baptist. They did it at First Baptist Place and in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a back-to-back Skeeza-Pleeza here on Friday Night Rivals. Yeah, Ben Lippen and First Baptist know each other well going back the last 2 years playing 4 times.
Yeah, they do. And we're going to focus on 2 guys, both wearing number 5.
Right.
Their first name is both Will, and we're going to start with Will Owens because he also plays both sides of the ball, and Ben Lippen's going to need him to play well.
Hey, you like the guy who wants to put his nose right in the middle of everything. Well, this is your guy right here. He's going to play linebacker. Had 13 tackles last week, and then on the offensive side of the ball, he's your two-way threat guy. Rushed for 62 yards and a touchdown last week. Keep an eye on this number 5.
The other number 5 is a quarterback, Will Daniel, and while the running back who's a freshman will talk plenty about Brown, he gets a lot of the headlines, but Will Daniel will take this Hurricanes team as far as they're willing to go.
We'll take a look at last year's stats. He threw for nearly 2,800 yards with 21 touchdowns. He's on pace again. He's thrown for 491 in just 2 games so far this year with 5 touchdowns. He's got a great stable of wide receivers to throw to this year. We're going to talk about them. And then that freshman running back, he's going to get a lot of play tonight as well.
The Hurricanes already upset the 2-time state champ Thomas Hayward to open the season. Now they're already 2-0, while Ben Lippen's in search of its first victory. Your Keating Roofing Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. The contest comes your way next. To begin our Keating Roofing Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Very fitting to have a former member of FDNY with the opening coin toss here on September 11th, 19 years ago today. That was James Pisano. His son, also James, plays on the defensive line for First Baptist. First Baptist and Ben Lippen, game time and temperature, 86 degrees. Brought to you by Roper St. Francis Hospital, where experience matters. It's a little bit muggy out there. It's not just a simple 86. Some humidity down here in the low country. But overall, relatively nice night for some high school football. Ben Lippen trying to get on the winning track. They won the coin toss and elected to receive, and they've got the opening play from scrimmage right here for you.
Get with it right away.
Nils Viehwger. That's the quarterback's name from Germany, the sophomore, or junior, beg your pardon, who unleashes a throw on the opening play from scrimmage to Chandler Cooks. And we have a look at the starting offense put out by the Falcons and brought to you by Kaine Roofing. Number 50, Mason Floyd, anchors that offensive line at center. He is getting some looks at the next level. Nice night out there on James Island. Relatively new facility for First Baptist, which has helped the Hurricanes really take the next step. So here on second down, this is Owens, and he is smothered
Quickly.
Yeah, by Mikey Blandon. A couple guys on this defense, including Blandon, are getting some looks. He's getting some at the FBS levels. 56. Pisano is the son of the former member of the fire department in New York who had the opening coin toss. And Kaine Moses is a sophomore there, number 44, that Johnny Waters likes a whole lot. Said he's going to be really good.
Saw a couple of big plays. Sevaughn Washington with a tackle on the first play of the game. Going to see him on the offensive side of the ball. Really good wide receiver.
Back it goes here to Will Owens. He only had 3 carries last week. Mikey Blandon has 2 tackles here on the last 2 plays. And it brings up fourth down.
Saw the speed of Blandon. Not the most well-known of all the Mikeys to ever go to school at First Baptist. But a force as a linebacker. 29 tackles so far this year. And that's just 2 games.
Sevaughn Washington is back for the Hurricanes, as this one will tumble its way down close to the 30-yard line. It's a pretty good kick right there.
I would say.
So the first possession for the Hurricanes will come right about at the 30-yard line. We get a look at their offense, led by Will Daniel, the senior, but keep an eye on 22 there, the bottom of the starting lineup. Brought to you by Kaine Roofing. Davian Brown is a freshman. He played last year as an 8th grader and got the starting job in week 2, supplanting the incumbent to Mikey Dukes. And he's the starter now and will be for the next 4 years. Got a chance to be really good.
We saw him play last year on Friday Night Rivals.
Here he is, spinning off the first hit, then drop down. Now it's Carter Moore on the stop. Here's the defense put out on the field by the Falcons, who are led by James Reynolds, the 3rd-year head coach. Max Drag. Isn't a much better name for a defensive lineman than Max Drag.
Yeah.
Oh, there he goes again. Told you to watch out for him. This is the second carry, second play from scrimmage. And he's caught from behind at the 20-yard line by Davis Holtz.
I just remember last year when I was covering the game, I kept having to look at my notes. We sure this kid's in 8th grade?
They give him 46 yards.
Very simple. Cuts to the outside.
Hurricanes play fast. They are into the Miller-Mott red zone. Miller-Mott College, take control of your future with the skills to succeed at Miller-Mott College.
I mean, look at his numbers already. Okay, first of all, let's look at this. I mean, from the waist down, kid looks like a tree trunk.
I took the words out of my mouth. Well, Daniel's got decent size on him, too. There's the first pass of this first possession. Spinning around is Hayward. And that picks up about a handful of yards, and it brings up 3rd down. Hayward has bloodlines in the Low Country. He started his career at Stratford before transferring to First Baptist. His dad, Dean remembers well, Sterling Hayward.
Mm-hmm.
So here on 3rd down, they fake it out to Davian Brown. It'll be Will Daniel dragging tacklers. And I believe that should be enough for the first down. Jalen Moore, number 11, makes the stop. First down brought to you by West Shore Homes. Convert your old bathtub into a modern and spacious walk-in shower in one day. WestShoreHome.com.
Daniel doesn't mind tucking and running if he has to.
He's averaged about 10 yards a carry for the season, but they're going to back him up here. With luck, like last week, we're not going to be counting flags again.
Well, I mean, think about these guys. They've got 2 games under their belt.
That's true. Something I noticed about Ben Lippen, they are in the Low Country to play, obviously, First Baptist tonight. They'll return here to play Porter Gowd. First Daniel over the middle, and it's dropped just a little bit out in front of Raymond Kelly. You know what? Might have been looking for Ravenel. Yeah, 20 instead of 10.
You watch it. Really put the ball exactly where it needed to be, out in front of the receiver. Nowhere where Jalen Moore, the defensive back, could get to it.
And hit immediately and spun backwards there. Coleman Davis, just a sophomore, wraps up Brown, and it's 3rd and goal.
You talked about Max Drag. You saw him there in the picture, 81. He's also just a sophomore, 6'3", 225.
12 tackles last week in a loss for this Falcons team that has had their run of injuries to deal with already here in the early part of the season. And First Baptist takes a timeout here with 7.5 to go in the opening quarter, threatening here on their first drive of the game. They forced the Falcons into a 3-and-out. A 46-yard run for Davian Brown, put him in position. And prior to this 3rd and goal, we got a timeout. So back to what I was saying, Ben Lippen will take the trip from Columbia down here to Charleston twice this year. Hammond, who we saw last week at Porter Gowd, they're doing the same thing. They come back to play First Baptist later in the year in a game that I think both right now are circling on their calendars as maybe the top 2 teams at the level, certainly in this region.
As you said earlier, Skiza group really, they jumped on board of playing before the high school league teams did.
Yeah.
We'll start that coverage in 2 weeks. We'll have next week off, and then we'll pick up our coverage, I believe, at Stratford at Somerville.
I was talking to a friend who hasn't lived down here too long, and he said, you know, the high school football scene, the one game I really want to see, I want to see Stratford at Somerville. I said, well, you're in luck.
Yeah.
Because you won't have to go very far to do that.
Daniel's got 4 really good wide receivers to throw to.
And they will spread it out for him. The freshman Brown stays in to block as this one is caught. Is he in? Yes, sir. Sevaughn Washington. Touchdown in the back corner. And First Baptist capitalizes on the opening drive for a 6-0 lead.
You saw Washington make the first play of the game with the tackle on the defensive side of the ball. Then he makes the big play here, but a really well-thrown ball again by Daniel. This one just kind of over the shoulder. Puts it right up where he can only catch it in the back of the end zone.
For Washington, his first touchdown of the year puts him over 100 yards receiving. And McGinnis, who's one of the better kickers in the Low Country, will add on the extra point. We'll talk about him as the game progresses. As Davian Brown sets up First Baptist, then Will Daniel and Washington pay it off for the early lead on Keating Roofing Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. First Baptist, already off to a 2-0 start this year, is also off to a lead here in Keating Roofing Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. And Ben Lippen, which had the opening possession, will take this one out close to the 25-yard line. And it's Evan Werner on the return there for the Falcons.
Number 17, William Rumelet, coming up with the tackle.
Last year, this Falcons team went 6-5. They edged out First Baptist in the playoffs on this field. And that was the fourth time, if you missed it in the open, that they've played in the last 2 years alone. And Nils Viehwger, the quarterback from Germany. That one is nearly intercepted. Had it not been knocked away, it would have been picked off by Kelly. And we get a chance for our Cruz Chevrolet keys to the game.
Very simple tonight. Very simple tonight for Ben Lippen. They've just got to find some offensive balance. In fact, they need to find just some offense. Scored just 7 points in each of their first 2 games. As for First Baptist, where there's a will, there's a win. As you can see, his arm, what he does in the pocket, certainly going to separate him from Ben Lippen tonight.
Viehwger shows off his arm right there, but he shows it off a little bit too much out in front of Davis Holt, so it's 3rd down now.
Yeah, there was a good ball. Even on that first down throw, it was a nice throw. Receiver just seemed to cut off the route for some reason, just kind of stop. But this kid's got a little bit of zip on it.
First name pronounced Nils, as though you're taking a knee. It's spelled Nils. Like the name, image, and likeness debate in college sports. So here's 3rd down. Viehwger gets it out of his hands quickly. On the edge, it's Crooks. And that won't be enough for a first down, but a late flag does come in here.
Brought down by Troyer and Ravenel.
Hard to see from our location exactly what happened. Flag came from behind the play.
Mm-hmm. Decline the penalty because it will force the Falcons to punt. So a couple of 3-and-outs. In the first 2 possessions, there you see James Reynolds, the head coach, Citadel graduate. His brother John also played at the Citadel. In fact, was part of the Citadel basketball team that won 20 games under Ed Conroy. And now John is on Frank Martin's staff up in Columbia. Viehwger doubles as the punter. Had a good one the first time he tried.
When was the last time we saw a quarterback punt?
In high school?
Yeah.
Did we see it last week?
Probably more than we know. Let's crunch some numbers. This is the freshman running back that we talked about. Davian Brown, 296 yards, 2 touchdowns, 9 yards per carry in the first 2 games this year, and almost 1,000 yards as an 8th grader. As an 8th grader.
That's brought to you by Anderson Brothers Bank. I asked Johnny Waters today, I said, clarify this for me. So you're allowed to play in 8th grade and then you can still play 4 more years? He said, yeah, you just can't play in 7th grade. I said, okay.
Very nice.
So Daniel collects it, flips it off to this freshman back Brown, and he takes a shot up high, but if you're going to take him down, hitting him up high is not the easiest way to do it, as Joshua Plush just found out.
Nice job by the defensive back, holding off his block and then making him move and stepping in. Number 12, that's Joshua Plush. But he still picks up 7.
James Reynolds, the head coach, also doubles as the defensive coordinator. You just saw him about 5 yards out onto the field at the bottom of your screen. He was an assistant at Ben Lippen, then was the defensive coordinator somewhere else, and came back to be the head coach. Nice play there by Davis Holt, who's playing both ways, and he prevents that first down as the ball was targeted to Jalen Hayward.
Holt had a little bit of advantage on that play. Looked like Will was watching him the entire time, wanting to go there. Do it a little bit behind him, but a nice play by the cornerback.
After waiting a while between first and second down, they go fast on third down, and Brown spins his way forward, enough for the first down.
So he picks up another 9.
First down brought to you by West Shore Home. Once again, you can convert your old bathtub, just a simple bathtub, into a modern and spacious walk-in shower in just one day. WestShoreHome.com. Daniel rifles it out of his hands immediately and shoots it into the Ben Lippen sideline.
Ball seemed to get away from him a little bit, a little high on the throw.
You know what I like early on from Will Daniel? They'll rotate in about 8 different receivers, and he's targeted at least a handful of them here in 2 drives. They bluff it to Brown. He takes the punishment for it, and Will Daniel finds some space on the outside, about 6 yards, and guess what? It's Davis Holt, who had 17 tackles last week. He's already got a couple and a pass breakup today.
7-yard pickup.
Saw the pressure inside, decided to keep it himself, turns it outside to the left side, and picks up 6.
That ball up in the air and incomplete. You know, Mike Bobo up in Columbia made, I guess, headlines last week when he pointed out that the huddle has gone away and he wants to implement more of the huddle. He wasn't saying they're going to huddle all the time and be like a 1950s football team. What he was saying is they're going to vary it up, which is what Johnny Waters and First Baptist are doing here. Sometimes fast, sometimes slow.
Going for it on 4th down, midfield.
Got to get about 2 yards, and they go to Brown, who's not going to get it. Went straight ahead. That was stuffed up by 81 in the middle. Max Drag. 12 tackles a week ago, only a sophomore.
So you do that for 2 reasons. Because you have confidence in your offense, and you have confidence in your defense. In case the confidence in the offense doesn't work out, you have confidence in your defense can stop them if you give them the ball at midfield.
Ben Lippen hasn't had a first down yet. First carry of the game here for Evan Werner, and he'll pick up about a couple. Mikey Blandon, 42, in there. How many times are we going to call his name? He's the team's leading tackler coming in, 29.
You'll see a lot of that run-pass option. Nils decided to see what he had, waited to the last minute, stuck it in his gut, and let him go.
Second down and about 7. We know you don't see down and distance down there. That's because it's just not updated at the field. So it's pretty taxing on the production staff. We'll do our best to update you best we can. Chandler Crooks will pick up a first down as he gets inside the 40-yard line, brought to you again by West Shore Homes.
Kaine Moses flying in, number 44, making the tackle.
First down of the night for Ben Lippen.
Chandler Crooks loved what he did after he received the ball. He just put his head down and went straight forward.
I think there was a flag. Yes, there was. So wipe off the first down, back him up and replay second down.
It's a 3rd flag for Ben Lippen.
Yep. That might have been it right at the top
on the
of your
wide
screen.
receiver.
2 flags when flying at the same guy. That's probably what they got. So it's second down and 16. They need the 40-yard line of First Baptist here. Viehwger dumps it off here. This is Werner, and he got a block to get some space on the outside and create a manageable 3rd down. It's Mikey Blandon who wraps the waist again.
Werner, he's led the team in receptions last year as a wide receiver. So he knows what he's doing coming out of the backfield to catch the football. Had 7 catches for 76 yards a week ago.
Switched him to running back because apparently he put on some size, some muscle.
Mm-hmm.
And he brings up 3rd down and 5 as the Falcons still look for their first down. Back to the ground with Will Owens, and he's smothered. That's Pisano, the son of the FDNY, former FDNY?
And NYPD.
NYPD as well, yes.
Serve with both of those departments. Yeah, he comes in untouched. Good for him.
He's only a sophomore, too. There's some youth out there on both sides. First Baptist turned it over on downs around midfield. All told, Ben Lippen got 2 yards after having a first down erased with a holding penalty.
Their second one.
A busted punt.
We got a fire drill right here.
Let's see here. Viehwger needs the 40, won't get there. And First Baptist will take over at the 45. So they lost about 5 yards after turning it over on downs.
That was Graydon Davis. Made a great play just to stop the ball. And felt like he could maybe punt it on the run.
Keating Roofing, proud to present each participating homeschool a check for $500. This grant provides each school with extra funding to help make their school great. Over the past 10 seasons, Friday Night Rivals and our sponsors have donated over $100,000 to Low Country students and schools. Congratulations from MyTV Charleston, ABC News 4, and Keating Roofing.
So their best starting position in their 3rd drive here.
First time they get through to Will Daniel, it's Will Owens. 2 guys we talked about to start the show. Owens comes up with the sack. How about this for Ben Lippen? You got to start the year against Hammond and C.J. Stokes.
Right.
Then 2 weeks later, you get First Baptist. Daniel under pressure. And down he goes once again. Max Drag was there, so was Will Owens.
We said at the beginning of this broadcast, you want a guy who puts his nose right in the middle of everything.
3rd down, 15.
That offensive staff is a lot of recognizable names on the sidelines.
Daniel airs one out, incomplete. And it'll bring up 4th down. He wanted Hayward there.
J.T. Waters, coach's son, is their wide receivers coach. Spent some time at Newberry and Citadel as an assistant coach. And then this summer they hired Bailey Hart, former Wando quarterback. His brother Christian, former Wando quarterbacks, helping out at Beckham High School.
Bailey Hart's also a quarterback coach. He's part of a group with another South Carolina quarterback, former South Carolina quarterback, the QB1 camp, and he is coaching up high school quarterbacks wanting to make it to the next level.
He's worked with Will for a few years, but Will and JT pretty much grew up together. Johnny had coached with Jim Daniel over at Bishop England and PCA.
Oh yeah, it's terrible, man. That's why they keep saying, hey, you're dark, you're dark, you're dark.
So
Dark.
you get,
Come on.
as is the case in the Low Country, it's a small little community and everything kind of comes full circle.
Yeah. Especially when you're dealing with the smaller private schools. Viehwger looked like he wanted to go left, but that was cut off. So he runs right, and he goes right into Mikey Blandon.
Yeah, he turned that corner. He's like, this is going to be, nope, that's number 42. Blandon with at least 5 tackles. We've called his name quite a bit already. Yeah, he looked like he wanted to go right, and then he abandoned that quickly. Picked up 3 or so on the play.
That was Caleb Washington, who came down from the right defensive end spot. Defensively, Ben Lippen has held their own here in this opening quarter, save one long run for Davian Brown that eventually set up the lone score. Hey, look, it's Mikey Blandon with another tackle as Evan Warner goes right into his stomach.
29 tackles in the first 2 games.
Thought you were going to say today.
It feels like it.
And that's going to be the final play of the first quarter. So offensively, Ben Lippen in search of its first down still, and they will be close to it. No, one of them was called back for a penalty.
It's all right. I believe you.
We're going to hear from Kaine Roofing as we continue along here after one.
You're right, sir.
The difference so far, a Davian Brown 46-yard run. That set up a Sevaughn Washington 13-yard touchdown reception. And we start this second quarter with just a couple yards to go for Ben Lippen, and it will be picked up by Nils Viehwger. And their first down of this opening half for the Falcons. That one brought to you by Limerick Heating and Air.
I can confirm that is the first down of the game. Holding call. Called back their second one. Got new quarterback in the game.
It's Striker Gandy. So
if you want to be a quarterback, you either want your name to be Jet or Striker.
They've got a couple names. We had told you Max Drag, and here's Striker Gandy. No, you're not getting to the outside. Not there against Amari Jenkins.
An interesting thing about First Baptist, you start looking through their the roster the last few years, you start seeing some guys going to Division I schools. The wide receiver who is at USF now.
Sincere Brown.
Mikey, of course, at Clemson. You start to get that reputation as a head coach. You start to bring in assistant coaches with college-level experience. It becomes a program you want to be a part of.
There came Jenkins at him again.
Flag in the way back in the backfield. They're going to say maybe it was intentional grounding. His ball didn't pass the line of scrimmage.
Let's see. If you weren't with us last week, we're not on site. The crew has done a remarkable job here at ABC News 4, MyTV Charleston, of setting us up in a conference room with plexiglass in between Dean and myself. And Dean saw this one correctly. Lost downs with the intentional grounding.
Listen, it was the right move because Amari Jenkins was all over him.
So Viehwger comes back in on 3rd down and a mile here. Changing the play as Blandon comes in untouched. But there's Will Owens out in the flat to give a little bit of breathing room for the upcoming punts. There's a guy you want to block. It's probably 42 Blandon.
Well, you saw the way he came in. It was almost like he was kind of sneaking up for the attack. and he just blitzes right, or it comes right around the corner. But a nice job. Trio of Hurricanes right there, including Billy Johnson.
Nils Viehwger will punt it back to Washington here. First Baptist announced it will have 500 fans at this game, and it was sold out early. And that one, I don't know if it was officially blocked or not, but it was heading right at Billy Johnson, number 7. It's off the side of his foot, too.
I don't know if he rolled his ankle here or... Yeah, it looked like his left ankle kind of wobbled a little bit.
And I don't think it was officially blocked. I think it skirted right over Johnson's shoulder. So the kicking game has now caused a bit of an issue here for Ben Lippen the last 2 times. One was a busted snap that Viehwger couldn't pick up the necessary yardage, and now this time he shanks one and puts First Baptist in a really good position to add to their lead. We had Johnny Waters on our show.
What show was that?
JB and Goldwater.
What time's that on?
It's on noon to 2. You can catch it on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You can listen to it live on the Podbean app and find it all archived as well. We had Johnny on, and he was talking about what you were mentioning. When you get guys up to Power 5 programs, next levels, the impact it then has on the program. And he said it wasn't just that. It was also the facility being built, because the facility came first. Then came Mikey Dukes. And now you've got Davian Brown, who wanted to come to First Baptist for a while because he was watching Mikey Dukes. And the coaches as well. So you got guys with collegiate experience on the staff. And then you start to gain the reputation a la Hammond,
right,
where you do have quality Power 5 guys in a smaller program.
Well, listen, if you go back to 2013 when they were still playing 8-man, they were 0-11. And then in 2014 when Coach Waters showed up in their first year in Skeeza, they were 0-10. And then the next year was a 4-6 season. And then all of a sudden things changed. 10-2, 11-0, 11-2. 2 state championships and a loss in the state championship game.
Brown takes a team to go down.
And then that 8-4 campaign last year. I'm going to tell you what, it's like taking down a big oak tree, right?
Or maybe even tougher, a small oak tree, right? Like the stump's been cut down, now you try and take it down. Like it's impossible.
Now you're dropping some Citadel lingo on us. A little Stump Mitchell action.
Okay. Daniel pulls. It is Siegler who chases from the edge and picks up his 2nd straight tackle. It'll be 3rd down and about 5. You mentioned the Citadel and First Baptist. Tomorrow's a big night for Johnny Waters in this First Baptist program. Sincere Brown playing for Brad Scott down in South Florida, who is hosting the Citadel, and Jackson Watson, who also played for First Baptist. And then on another channel right here, or our sister station, ABC News 4, as the Hurricanes pick up the 1st down, Clemson's playing, and Mikey Dukes. So Division I talent, 2 guys from First Baptist playing each other, and a 3rd could very well see time for the Tigers.
And speaking of that game, you can check it out live right here on ABC or on ABC News 4. That's a 7:30 kick at Wake Forest.
College game day is at Winston-Salem, first time ever. Daniel takes the high snap, slices back inside, and picks up the rushing touchdown. The 2nd of the season for the senior quarterback. And they capitalize on the shanked punt for a 13-0 lead.
Found a nice seam in the middle of that line. Some good vision here, able to bring down the high snap. There you go. Got a big blocker out in front of you. Rob Gale, senior. Able to cut it behind him. Also on this staff is David Reese, who's a longtime James Island coach.
14-0 Hurricanes, looking for a 3-0 start to the season on Keating Roofing Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Will Daniel with a passing touchdown, now a rushing touchdown. And the Hurricanes are on top 14-0 out on James Island. Hello to everyone over at 75 Garage, who is hosting a watch party if you didn't get into this game. Normally the place can seat about 2,000. They average about 12 to 1,600, but 500 fans, that's the limit today. Sold out for the 500, and it was a couple of days ago.
I think they're, what they say, 400 on their side. We're going to give 100 over to Ben Lippen to use. David Shelton making his second appearance on Friday Night Rival.
There he is.
A moment ago, he was wandering around looking like he was a bit lost. David, longtime sports reporter here in the Low Country.
We had offsides on First Baptist on that kickoff a moment ago, so they'll do it over. Another Skeezer score to pass along to you. Porter Gow trailing at home to Lawrence Manning. That's a 14-0 game in the second quarter. Backing McGinnis up a couple yards doesn't have a ton of impact. This one he corners, and he did so well. It looked like Werner may have gone out of bounds, but instead he tiptoes and stumbles out to midfield. It's a return of 40 yards for Evan Werner.
Yeah, that was amazing.
All right, let's crunch more numbers. Brought to you by Anderson Brothers Bank. I like it. Waters is rising. I see that.
Talked a little bit about what's happened under his leadership here, but they were 4-16 his first 2 years, 40-8 last 4 years with 3 appearances in the state championship game, 2 banners over at First Baptist.
40-8, 4 years. That'll get it done.
Big thing here, Ben Lippen, they've got to have positive plays, cannot shoot themselves in the foot.
Viehwger back in at quarterback. Owens back in taking the handoff, and he spins his way for about 8 or 9.
And that's a good way to start it. Able to turn a corner, got a good block by his wide receiver as Jack Austin. Sets up a manageable 2nd and 2.
Viehwger rifles it. It's bobbled right at the sticks and short. It'll be about a half a yard short to Jack Austin there. Oh, they gave him the first down.
That was very hospitable.
Yes. Especially with the where the ball spotted. Look at that on the back of Viehwger's helmet, also the German flag. Been part of the boarding program at Ben Lippen. He's been playing football since middle school. Now he's a junior. And this guy's going to become his friend if he can pick up a chunk of yards. Will Owens, tabletop by Kane Moses. 44 there is a sophomore, and Johnny Waters compared him to Timothy Campbell and Jackson Watson. 2 of the good ones to play for the Hurricanes.
Like how he carries the ball, protects it through the line where the traffic is.
You can hear one of the coaches after Owens' run imploring guys on the sideline to tackle on the opposite side of the ball. We got a false start here for Ben Lippen. It was on the bottom of your screen.
Looked like the wide receiver jumped the snap. But they've got to have clean drives. When you're a football team having a hard time scoring the football, you've got to be able to eliminate those kind of penalties. 7 points in their first 2 games, 14 total. That microphone is awfully close to the action. I'm not sure. We have to ask our director, Nick, if he's got a 7-second delay button over there.
Here's Viehwger with the arm again, and that will be close to another first down. It was Troyer to make the stop, and Crooks who had the reception.
I like this kid. Throws a good ball.
They didn't give him the first down this time. Yeah, I mean, he's got the size. It's a nice fluid motion.
The important thing here is we're running some time off the clock.
Here comes the blitz again, and this time Mikey Blandon will catch up, but they only needed about a yard. Owens picks that up. First down presented by Limerick Heating and Air. Best drive so far for Ben Lippen. It started with about a 40-yard kick return, tiptoeing the sideline and stumbling forward for Warner. Now a couple of first downs later, and they have penetrated deeper into Hurricanes territory than they have in the first quarter and a half.
I'm not sure if a kid like Blandon's got an opportunity to play at the next level.
Johnny Waters said he's getting some FBS looks. Moses forced Viehwger to veer off course, and he veered into Matthew Reed.
And Moses also a good-looking kid, just a sophomore. So Coach Waters said yes, somewhere next year?
Yes, he said he's getting FBS looks. So unsurprising after watching him play. Mikey Blandon will play somewhere. Kaine Moses likely will in a few years. He said 7 or 8 guys will be playing at the next level, be it D1, 2, 3 next year. And commented on the challenges of high school coaches having his kids recruited in the age of COVID. Long time in the pocket here for Viehwger. Eventually just runs right into the corner and takes the punishment for it. It's not a corner. It was Blandon who had just slid out there.
I don't really think recruiting in COVID, they don't really need to go far. They just need to put on the first 15 minutes of this game.
Yeah. Especially if you're looking at 42 here.
Nils said, I'll just go straight at it and see how that works out for me.
I mean, that's picture-perfect tackling right there. Johnny Waters gives him a little dap on the shoulder. That's Johnny right there in the mask and the hat. Waters told me that he was actually more impressed with his team's win last week when they beat Lawrence Manning 17-14 than he was in beating Thomas Hayward. And he admittedly says he's a stupid guy for scheduling Thomas Hayward, but they beat him anyway. It's a 2-time reigning state champ.
Beat them easily.
Yes. Put up 47 points on him.
And then
struggled. Turned it over 5 times last week. 3 of those were inside of the 10. And he said, you know, I was impressed with Will Daniel. He didn't show any panic. Same with the rest of the guys. They faced adversity and they came through it. And because of that, this week in practice is better than the last few weeks had been.
Well, I believe they turned it over in their first 4 possessions. So that's 4 out of your first 5 are right off the rip. Right? You think how that affects a team that's younger than he's had. But in the second half, they locked down. They held Lawrence Manning to just 35 yards on 18 rushes. So the defense took a stand, showed him something. And that's what you want to see early on in your football team, to see how they react on the road. 4 turnovers. I think their first touchdown was an interception return for a touchdown. Third and a bunch again for the Falcons.
Yeah, close to 20. Over the middle, Viehwger. Is that Moore? It is Moore, and it is Kaine Moses. These 2 linebackers are all over the field for the Hurricanes.
When you say all over the field, we're talking sideline to sideline. Here you see Moses right here. Good closing speed.
4th down and 6.
Hurricanes play a 4-2-5. And you can see why it works for them, because their 2 linebackers cover the entire field.
It worked out for about 5 minutes on the clock here, but have to convert a 4th down to keep this drive going.
Need about 6 yards. Cutting in, and a low throw will turn it over on downs.
First bad throw that we've seen. Looked like he was a little hesitant on the release, but he certainly had his man and had him for a first down.
Jack Austin, the intended target. Yeah, that's a first down if he puts that one up, a foot or 2 higher. Maybe it gives the offense a little bit of confidence. First time they really move the ball. It also gives the defense a chance to rest.
Yep.
And finally, their backs are not really up against the wall. Along with Dean Stevens and Darren Goldwater, we are happy you're with us for the Keating Roofing Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. As we approach halftime here of our Week 2 game. We got 10 games to bring you this season. But no game next week, we're off. And then Stratford and Somerville the week after that.
He wants it, and he wants it all, and he gets it.
And he got it. Oh, nifty move after the catch as well by Hayward. Another spin job for Hayward. Got away from Holt the second time and gets down close to the 15-yard line.
So before we started our broadcast, before we went on the air, Darren asked me, he said, "You remember a guy named Sterling Hayward?" I go, "Oh, yeah, wide receiver Stratford." He's like, "Yeah." I said, "That's his brother, Jalen."
I didn't say it's his brother.
And no, I said, I said, "Is that his brother?"
That's what you
and
said.
He goes, "No, that's his son." And then I thought, damn, I'm old.
Here's Davian Brown. He bounces off the first hit, boulders his way to the outside, and steps out of bounds. And they are into the Miller-Mott College red zone. Take control of your future with skills to succeed at Miller-Mott College.
Well, after that, I just take a look at Brown. Runs into his own guy. Spin cycle. I'm not sure what that is on the controller, but it was really cool. So anyway, I texted my old friend, Coach Stackley.
Yep.
And I asked him about it. I said, "What year did he play for you?" He said, "Go to the play." This is what's so great about old coaches, right? They remember everything.
They do.
He said one of the star players on the '99 state championship team had a great championship game, big touchdown catch right before the half, a crucial interception at free safety, and then had a great career as a wide at App State. So there you go.
A great enough career that when Johnny Waters was, I guess, scrolling through social media, I guess App State was highlighting the best players from certain decades as they go along. And he was the best player for said decade, I guess the 2000s. Oof, look at that cut in for Brown. He's more of a straight ahead runner, more of a square your shoulders type of guy than Mikey Dukes was, even though Dukes obviously had the power in the lower body to do that.
Right.
But that's how Waters compares him. See, this guy's more straight ahead, and he's ahead of Dukes at this point in their careers, both freshmen when he's comparing them, from an understanding the game standpoint.
How tall did he say he is?
Didn't tell me that.
5'6"?
He said height could be the challenge, but you know what? It can also work to his advantage because it makes you even tougher to go down, especially when you got those trunks of legs. And he'll get him down inside the 5 here.
I'm not sure who was out in front of him on that block, but got a really nice block 3 or 4 yards downfield. I think it was maybe by big number 52, Will Hurd. Let's take a look.
Yeah. And from Hayward.
Yeah. Got to give the big guy some love. Cody Ray as well. Yeah, I don't think it. I mean, if you watched any of the Chiefs game last night, you watched that kid for the Chiefs run.
Edwards-Hilaire.
Right, not a big guy at all.
No.
Height-wise.
But, you know, it's a benefit when you've got Patrick Mahomes and the weapons on the outside. That offense for the Chiefs is rolling.
Yes.
Saw some numbers today. If you date back to last year, the Super Bowl champs have now won 10 straight games, averaging 32 points a game and averaging 16 points allowed in those games. And I think the more impressive thing was the note about Patrick Mahomes, who has started 27 games. That's it. In 19 of those games, he has thrown 3 or more touchdowns.
Yeah, it's impressive.
And he's the richest man on the planet now.
Pretty close. Wearing a uniform, at least.
Yes.
So Edwards-Hilaire is 5'7".
Is that right?
So let's say this kid grows another 2 inches.
Yeah.
But here's the crazy part. If you look physically at him, I mean, developed down low, right? You're going to get stronger. You know, start putting weight on and strength up top.
Yep. I mean, when's the last time you saw an 8th grader built like this? Now he's a freshman. Davian Brown isn't going to get in that time. Initially, he's met by Sam Siegler there. I believe it is 3rd and goal. It is. Will Daniel has accounted for both touchdowns to this point for the Hurricanes. A passing touchdown in the first quarter and a rushing touchdown last time the Canes had it. Was Washington the motion man. And the camera lost Will Daniel. Is he in?
Looks like he ball on the ground.
Not
Everybody's
in.
calling. Yep, the ref's going to say play was dead when the ball came out. Sam Siegler with a nice play. Hard to see.
You know, Nick, can we see, is it possible to see that thing again? Because right as he gets to the line, I think that ball came out. I think it came out relatively early. There you go, Nick, our director. Watch this right here. There it is. It's coming out.
Ball's on the ground.
Yeah. 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 I mean, you see it. Right there. I think.
What I initially saw first was
that
I
knee
think is now a knee pad.
Yes, I think it's a dirty knee pad that I mistakenly thought was the football. Now I'm not sure if I see the football.
Yeah, it's inconclusive. Let's go under the hood. I think New York says no.
New York says no.
Can't overturn.
We can tell you conclusively that First Baptist took a timeout to figure out what they're going to do here on 4th down. Nice job, Caleb, for getting that shot.
I will tell you that Max Preps, they have him listed as 5'5".
All right.
Davian.
So that's
but wait, they've got him 5'5", 160.
No. He's 160 like I'm 160.
Yeah.
The other way.
Max Prep has me at 205.
Yeah. I'm 6'5", 200 in Max Prep.
Well, regardless,
160.
You have
his leg. One of them might weigh 160.
Yeah, the bottom line here is he's got this program rolling, and which is good to see. When you think about it, it was an 8-man football team 7 years ago. Really says quite a bit about what Coach Waters has done here.
Going for it on 4th down for a 3-score lead, and the snap. There were whistles before the snap as well.
I think a flag is down.
Even though it's been relatively one-sided, there's been a decent flow to the game up until right about this point.
Oh, gosh. So encroachment on the defense.
Which gives you an inch, half the distance to the goal from the goal line. So it's still 4th down.
But it just gives them another opportunity, and that's Ben Lippen has seen their share of penalties, but crucial mistakes at all the wrong times.
Mm-hmm. 2 big plays. That's really the difference. That's it offensively for First Baptist. There was a big hookup from Will Daniel to Jalen Hayward to set up the Daniel touchdown run. And the Davian Brown 46-yard run set up the first touchdown. And then you combine that with some miscues in the kicking game for Ben Lippen, but it's a little bit more even than it feels. And this is a huge play coming up, which is why First Baptist has taken another timeout. They'll get the ball to start the 3rd. So if Ben Lippen can somehow keep First Baptist out of the end zone here and keep it as a 2-score deficit, going into the half. I mean, that's a big-time momentum builder for a program looking for its first win of the year.
Technically, I didn't say anything.
You implied.
I'm not sure where I think our field mics are on the Ben Lippen side, I believe, which would make sense because that's where our cameras are.
Yes, and that's where we heard the
Yes.
coaches imploring
Yes.
defensive play. But, that's all part of the whole COVID thing. We've heard golfers out there with unprecedented access, baseball too. A lot of
the NBA in the
colorful
bubble.
words.
We're going to sprint up to the line again.
All right, 4th down. Daniel corrals it and throws low. He almost pulled off something pretty impressive. Instead, it's Ben Lippen that pulls off the impressive feat. A goal line stand against the Canes with about a minute to go in the half.
And an important goal line stand as well. He had a couple of options where he could have gone. He had Washington out of the flat. Clemson, Wake Forest tomorrow, Saturday, 7:30 on ABC News 4.
Can you believe we made it? College football, gonna be played.
Well, the interesting thing about that comment is they haven't played yet. We haven't made it there yet. Right?
Touche.
We've gone 99 yards.
Yes. Yes. The ACC opens this weekend. You've got Notre Dame and Duke. Florida State, Georgia Tech is an interesting one.
Ben Lippen's got to be careful. This ball on the 1 yard line.
See if First Baptist brings pressure. They don't. Instead, a gap opens up for Will Owens. Breathing room is the result of that. About 18 yards for Will Owens and a Limerick Heating and Air first down.
They've got a touchdown, or they've got a first down if they want to go fast. But a nice job by that Falcon offensive line to create a huge hole. Moses runs him down from behind.
Not a whole lot of urgency here as Will Owens protects it well. Kaine Moses knocks him down.
You get some urgency now.
Maybe. Only one timeout left. That might be the trepidation here.
Looks like they just used it. I think they were waiting to see if it was
first down.
Yep. I think they were waiting to see if it was a first down.
So back-to-back first downs. Now I would expect to see Ben Lippen hustle a little bit more. They're out across their 30. Look out. There's Mikey Blandon. We hadn't called his name in about 5 or 6 plays. And that urgency that I was talking about is now gone.
Yes. Yeah, I would say
at the half, we will do our best to hear from Johnny Waters and also James Reynolds. Nifty move here on the outside by Davis Holt to stay alive, but he is down inbounds and went down hard. James Reynolds, the head coach, right there on top of him. So 3 seconds left here in this half, and there is an injury timeout with Davis Holt, who has played very well, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. And that siren is how First Baptist declares the first half over. Ben Lippen with a defensive goal line stand. See if it proves like a big play that it felt like at the time in the second half. The two scores, a Will Daniel touchdown throw to Washington, a Will Daniel touchdown run. Halftime on the way. Hurricanes leading Ben Lippen 14-0 on your Keating Roofing Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet.
punch that last one in. You can't have the ball right there at the goal line.
Brought to you by
not punching
Roper
it. We
St.
gotta get a
Francis
better
Hospital,
snap,
where it
and like that, we got
matters. Each week, David Ayler Law Offices and Riders Law Group, proud to highlight a scholar athlete from each participating school. The students selected have an opportunity to win a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Let's check out tonight's scholar athletes, brought to you by David Ayler Law Offices and Rider Law Group. First up, we got McGinnis, the kicker. He's listed as a 4.5 star, but he's got a 5.2 GPA. He's a kicker. He's got time to study. I'm kidding, Alex. It's pretty darn impressive. He's our scholar athlete from the Hurricanes of First Baptist, a 5.2 GPA. And again, Ben Lippen's coming down from Columbia, so just one scholar athlete last week and one this week. Earlier, Scott Eisberg had an opportunity to sit down, maybe even stand up, but at least have a conversation with somebody from David Ayler Law Offices.
Joined now by Margaret Stipa from the Ayler Law Firm, and this is year 4 for the Ayler Law Firm, presenting our scholar athlete. That's $20,000 for football alone in scholarships. How fun, how rewarding has this been for you?
Extremely rewarding. We love getting involved every year, and on top of doing Friday Night Rivals last year, we also got involved with high school hoops, where we also gave out a scholarship for $2,500 for another scholar athlete. So we love getting involved, and we're excited to be a part of it again this year.
I know you were in there with David every year when they choose the winner. How difficult is it to find that winner to hand out that check to?
It's extremely difficult. These students are excelling in the classroom, on the field. They're involved in community service. They're just extremely impressive, and it's very difficult to choose just one winner.
Thanks for jumping on again this year. So happy to be playing football. The scholar athlete presented by the Ayler Law Firm, that's Margaret Stipa.
$14-0 is our halftime score. Fireworks at First Baptist. When we come back, we'll hear from Johnny Waters. Continue on with Keating Roofing Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Roper St. Francis Healthcare halftime report. Earlier we had a moment to catch up with the head coach of the 2-0 and leading at the half, Hurricanes of First Baptist, Johnny Waters.
That last one in. You can't have the ball right there at the goal line not punching in. We got to get a better snap, and like that, we got to execute better. We got the ball coming out second half. We need to take the ball down, march, and get a score, and start putting some pressure on them.
All right, good luck, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Not sure if you were able to hear that or not. It sounded as though he was saying you just got to punch it in because they turned the ball over on downs, the Hurricanes did at the 1 yard line late in the third quarter. That was an issue for them last week as well against Lawrence Manning with 3 turnovers inside the 10. We appreciate Coach Waters' time at the half. For almost 30 years, All-American Awards in Mount Pleasant has been your local trophy shop, providing both corporate and sports awards to meet your style and budget. Visit Steve and his crew at All-American Awards. When you recognize excellence, it's awardsguy.com, and he has put together a Lombardi trophy for the winner of every game of Keating Roofing Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, again presented by All-American Awards. 14-0 the lead for the Hurricanes in search of a 3-0 start to the 2020 campaign on Keating Roofing Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Roper St. Francis Healthcare Halftime Reports, brought to you by Roper St. Francis Hospital, where experience matters. If you're going to put together an awesome package, experience matters in editing as well, and that's where we're going to take you right now. Plays from around the country.
Oh, yeah.
In last week's Friday Night Rivals, Thursday Night Lights. Will we be featured?
Is your play going to make it?
I don't know.
You called him out.
Let's called
go to
him out.
Gainesville, Florida. Ooh, that's a loose ball. That's a loose ball.
Yep, scramble drill.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
That's some Gainesville, Florida speed right there.
I mean, that's speed.
Holy moly.
All right,
Salt Lake
east.
City, Utah.
East. He's going north and south. That's not east and west.
33
taunting him.
33 had. Oh, yeah, you just got to still tackle him, don't you? If he taunts you from 10 yards in.
Oh, what
Columbia.
do we got here? Okay. Good catch.
Oh, that's Ben Lippen.
Didn't even notice. Oh, we got a defensive lineman pick.
It was a deflection off the quarterback, off the batted ball.
Nashville now. Oh, it's like Air Force playing defense. Looks exactly like him.
It looks like he got crushed.
And he got a shot of the pylon there, too. Ooh.
All right, there you go.
Oh.
Yeah, that was really, really, really good.
Low flow. What was that? I'm trying to figure out who that high school was.
Handed it to him. Dayton's.
Oh.
Oh, that was rude.
Strong.
We are still shining, but you got nixed.
That was strong. That was strong. You know what else is strong?
What's that?
What our crew has been able to put together.
Well,
Our footprint at the stadium has gone from about a 30-person crew to a 6-person crew.
Yeah.
It has been as seamless as I could put into words, enough so that I sent an email at like midnight last week thanking everybody for the job they did. This is a video that Nick Case, who is directing this program, he put this together to show you how that's being done. That's Nick.
Yeah, so that's a little trailer outside in our carport.
Normally that's at the game.
Justin Strauber. It's only Justin and the audio guy in the truck. That's our garage.
Beautiful garage.
It's a nice garage as far as garages go. And this is down the hallway. And then this is the old prop room. And that's got set up where replay and graphics hang out. Caleb and Milich, two-handed synchronized wave, not an Olympic sport. And then here we go down the hallway into the sales conference room.
Hey!
And that's where we're hanging out.
It's a lot dirtier in here now.
This is as much action as the sales conference room has seen in about 6 months. And here's the other crazy part. This is all the signals that we're getting in from these games, from all of our cameras. You see it here on our big screen in the sales office. It's all by cellular live views. So, once upon a time, we'd take a live truck or a sat truck out. So each one of our cameras, I think there's 4 cameras set up. Each camera is fixed to a live unit. I don't know when this technology turned the corner. What was it, Justin? 5 years ago? 10 years ago? I mean, it's just like a little bitty backpack that goes through cell service.
It's unbelievable that you can broadcast a game without a satellite truck there, and it's just all over cell towers.
Right.
And it looks perfect.
Justin, where's that shot from? Because at one point, we were not going to bring our lift truck out there. Oh, I know where this is. Yep. So we have, if we could take another shot. So this is a smaller sat truck that we acquired not long ago. And so we just raised the mast, and that's a camera on top of the mast. Because usually we would have the big lift, the big scissor lift in the end zone. So this is just a static shot from that mast cam that we'll be using that truck. There it is.
Yeah. At the very top of that pole coming out of that truck.
At the very top of that pole. Right. It looks like we're selling
elevators,
like popsicles out of that thing on the weekends.
There's an elevator sponsor at First Baptist that's right below this. As
Stop
you're going,
it.
I promise. That's what it was.
Yeah, there's the camera up top.
All right. I wish you could hear Nick and really get behind the scenes. He's saying 7, 6, 5. That's how long we have to get to break.
I was just watching McGinnis hit a 60-yard field goal right there. Sorry.
Halftime stats for First Baptist.
All right, Coach, offensively, had a couple opportunities. What needs to happen to turn those chances into points?
We got to get first downs when we get across the 50-yard line. We get across midfield, and we're all of a sudden.
The lead is 2 scores for the Hurricanes. Could have been more. Goal line stand by Ben Lippen late there in the second quarter. Moments ago, we had an opportunity to catch up with James Reynolds, the third-year head coach of the Falcons.
We got to get first downs when we get across the 50-yard line. You know, we get across midfield and we're all of a sudden not executing. So we got to get first downs once we cross midfield. We got to finish drives. We got lucky there. I mean, a couple fumbled snaps, things like that. We got lucky. We're not tackling well. We're not covering very well. We're not playing very well. So we got to improve this half if we want to be a part of this football game at all.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
James Reynolds' thoughts. He is leading this team for the 3rd year. He was once an assistant. Now he's back. He actually played his high school ball at Hammond and then went to the Citadel down here in our backyard. Darren Goldwater, Dean Stevens. Second half is underway with a pooched angled kick that causes First Baptist some problems. And who gets it?
I believe that is Falcon football.
I also see a flag down there.
Joshua Plush, DB and wide receiver. That thing from the very beginning did not look good for First Baptist.
So we got to check on the flag, A, and then the video here. So it's a dead ball personal foul on Ben Lippen. So it's 15 yards from the spot, but they keep the ball. So the halftime words of James Reynolds apply perfectly. We need first downs after we cross the 50 to stay in this game. Well, you're across the 50.
And it's going to take a couple first downs, or just one, or maybe none.
Yep.
Just a big play.
Remember, their really best drive was the last time they had it, and then it just stalled out on them. Ben Lippen has scored 7 points in each of its first 2 games. They've had a tough offseason with some injuries, shaking up some positions, moving guys around. Will Owens has been a mainstay on both sides of the ball.
Caleb Washington, another sophomore, with the tackle. So, yeah, you go through this roster. Cody Ray, offensive lineman. Moses, we talked a lot about him. Caleb Washington, also a sophomore.
Back it goes here. Will Owens, biggest play of the day. Are they going to catch him? They will. Knocked down by Kaine Moses, another sophomore. And it's first down inside the red zone. First will pay off West Shore Homes. Get your bathtub into a modern spacious walk-in in just one day, a walk-in shower. First down brought to you by West Shore Homes.
Falcons and Nils did a nice job waiting for the pressure and then committing to the handoff. Because once that wave of purple was almost to him is when he handed the ball off.
Here's Striker Gandy. Then has to relay the play to Carter Moorer, late to get on the field. Gandy gets a block from Owens, but the block was not leveled to Mikey Blandon. That's his 11th tackle of the game.
I don't know if they're swapping QBs out on purpose here or if there's an injury to Nils. We saw him kind of tweak his ankle a little bit on a punt attempt in the second quarter.
I think it's more of a wildcat thing, situational type. But not a whole lot going there for Owens. He's smothered up by Reed. Got some help in there as well from the 2 linebackers. And it's third down. Yeah, and they bring back Nils Viehwger.
All right, you like to see that. Did you see it?
Yeah, a little bit of fire.
That was Mason Floyd, their center, seen enough. Imploring his offensive lineman to make a move here and hold the line, make a difference. They need to score.
Whoop, Viehwger And it's incomplete. Davis Holt tripped. I'm not sure if he would have been able to catch up with that pass out in front of him anyway.
We're going to find out if they've got a kicking game here or not. And I would say they don't.
Not with the offense staying out there, yeah.
Yeah, they've just not been able to find that complete package of rhythm. Bust a big play, get a good drive, and then something stops them. That's something usually led by Mikey Blandon.
So they'll get to the line, then get the play in.
Almost got a score for the first down.
Well, they're trying. It's caught! And a touchdown for the Falcons. Jack Austin got the position like he's going up there for a rebound, and the Falcons are on the board.
Yeah, they were going there the entire time. Just able to get behind the defensive back. Blandon came in, was picked up. Kelly never turned around to find the ball. Austin does a nice job bringing it in. And they're able to turn that turnover into 7 points on a big fourth down play.
So you don't call it an onside kick, even though it sort of was, pooch kick. But they got it. They converted first downs into points. And we got a one-score game in the third quarter. Ben Lippen scored so fast after that pooch kick that they recovered that they were so eager to keep going fast, and they kicked off right away. So here's First Baptist with the ball, leading 14-7, and the first time that the Hurricanes have had the ball here in this second half. A play fake for Daniel, and he throws into traffic. Davis Holt breaks it up. Looking for Washington.
You see Daniel backfield just delays for just a minute. Crunching some numbers here in the third quarter. This is first half stats. Mikey Blandon, 11 tackles. Davian Brown with 89 yards rushing as we get set here for their first possession.
Daniel gets one out to the edge here and room down the sideline. Tiptoeing the sideline and out of bounds. I think it's Ravenel. It certainly is. John Ravenel, the senior. Man, that's a slow developing play, Dean, and then nobody cut off the sideline.
No, Ravenel with 7 catches this year as well. You see him just turn the corner here. Looks like he went out maybe at midfield.
And are they coming back? Yeah, there's a flag down. And to be honest, the flag is right. On that replay, you could see that a guy on the edge was getting held. And that is why the sideline opened up. The shoulder was being clutched by a First Baptist player. First big penalty for the Hurricanes. And by big, just saying takes away a big play.
Yep.
Brown still without a carry here in this half. That one nearly picked off by Austin. The 2 number 6s step for step. He knocked it away from Hayward.
Tell you what, if you're going to play defensive back, play it like Jack Austin did on that play. I mean, he was stride for stride inside of his right hip. And a really nice job by Hayward as they switch up roles there, right?
Yep. Reached in, knocked it away. Daniel, that's a dangerous ball that falls incomplete. And the Canes have a long pass and run from Ravenel, wiped off with a penalty, and quickly give it back here to the Falcons, who for the first time in this game have a little bit of momentum. That guy right there, Jack Austin, had the touchdown reception, then the pass breakup.
I'm not sure why you don't hand the ball off to Davian Brown like 3 times.
I think you're going to see that a little bit more.
But they obviously saw something at the half. They made adjustments. They wanted to go to the air.
Here's McGinnis. It's a low punt. Returnable there for Werner, and he's out to midfield. You know what? It wasn't Werner this time. That was actually Davis Holt returning that kick.
Listen, it's obvious. I mean, we've seen some really good plays from this Ben Lippen team. They've got guys that obviously can play and make some plays. And right now, with a muffed return on the opening kickoff and then going basically 3 and out, you give Ben Lippen a little bit of life here at midfield.
They've been dancing around midfield for the last really 3 possessions and have just 1 touchdown on their last possession to show for it. Owens through the middle. Caleb Washington, the defensive end who wears 24, grabbed the ankle, so about a 3-yard run.
Falcons have really found success running the ball up the middle towards the end of the second quarter and then that first drive. Let's see if they stay there.
Should credit David Shelton, Post and Courier's David Shelton. He will be writing about this game. You can read about it tomorrow. He's the one who helped us out with some of those stats we just showed you and crunching the numbers. Canes bring pressure up the middle. That low throw is caught. Yes, by Jack Austin.
Had to get rid of it quickly, and he did. Looked like they brought a few extra players. I think it was clean.
Do you? There's the honesty.
I don't know. I mean,
it was close.
We were totally wrong on the goal line, I think, earlier.
Yes, we were. We thought a knee was a football, so.
Got to think 2-down territory here.
Pressure coming up the middle once again. And it forces a quick throw from Viehwger. So do you go for it here from about the 45?
No, he's calling for the punch team. I thought they would have. You know, the other thing, too, when you've got 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 4, you got to throw the ball at least 3 or 4 yards forward. All right, not 3 or 4 yards laterally.
Maybe they will go for it. Ben Lippen takes the timeout. The last 2 plays defensively, First Baptist had Moses and Blandon, their 2 studs, linebackers, just crashing the middle of the line. And certainly on that last one, it looked like Viehwger was affected by it.
Well, if you're going to do something like that, you got to look at Werner, who was your top receiver a year ago, and who's been playing out of the backfield now. Give him an opportunity to maybe grab one out of the backfield and pick up more than 3.
Football season very much upon us. Wake Forest and former Citadel head coach Kevin Higgins, who's the associate head coach for Wake Forest. They are hosting the Clemson Tigers. You got Mikey Dukes, who played at First Baptist. You got Sam Hartman, the quarterback for Wake Forest, who played at Oceanside.
The storyline, as it will be every weekend, of just playing college football. But then the sub-storylines, 1B and 1C, will be Trevor Lawrence
Yep.
Travis Etienne.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure wide receivers who look just like the ones from the last 5 years.
Well, that's the big question, because right now the leading returning receiver for Clemson is Etienne because of injuries. So now they got studs, but it is a question mark. They're going to go for it here on 4th down after the timeout. Viehwger too high, and it's picked off. He throws it directly to Adonis Cole. Talk about backfiring. You go for it on 4th down, you juke a guy into a broken ankle, and a pick 6 on 4th down takes First Baptist lead out to 20-7.
Adonis Cole. All he had to do was catch that ball and then just turn on the jets. Second throw in a row that was high. This one's going to cost him 7. And wanted to go back to more.
That's going to be tough in the film room for Houston Dykes.
His skates broke, that's all.
That's it. Look, it's not fair. You're backpedaling. You're an offensive lineman. You got a DB coming right at you with speed. And the extra point makes it 21-7 First Baptist. So quite an unconventional start to the third quarter. With essentially an onside kick, it leads to a score. An interception on a 4th down play that leads to another score. And here we are, 21-7 with the Canes leading, trying to go 3-0 on the young season.
Another underclassman, Cole, a junior, making the play. Somebody on that Ben Lippen sidelines said, "Coach, we need a timeout. We need to go for this." You think? Because on the first shot after the 3rd down failed, you saw the head coach. You saw Coach Reynolds go punt. Punt. Oof.
And whoever changed his mind is probably not allowed to do that again.
Well,
your opinion, sir, is no longer necessary.
As a head coach, as an effective leader, you want to be able to listen to your guys. Maybe the offensive coordinator saw something.
And look, whatever it was, it clearly was not executed properly.
Yep. But again, if I'm going to swing a pass somewhere, I'm looking for the guy who had the most receptions last year.
Werner hasn't been on the field a whole lot.
So when Coach Waters told you that McGinnis was a 4.5 star, was that as a field goal kicker, punter?
Kicker. We specifically kicker. Now, he may have also been referencing the fact that he can also punt. We've seen that. But he's got a leg.
Yeah, he drills it.
Yeah, he'll play somewhere next year. Although, that's not ideal. So the procedural penalty, and Ben Lippen will have decent field position yet again.
He likes to angle towards that sidelines. If you remember in the first half of that long kickoff return, did the same thing. Now it was picked up and returned about 50 yards, but that ball was going to go out of bounds before reaching the goal line. There we go.
Ben Lippen had the option to enforce that penalty another way, back up the kick and force the kick again. But knowing that McGinnis has the leg that he does, this is probably the right decision. They'll start from the 35. Seen a couple perennial state champion contenders in the first 2 weeks of Keating Roofing Friday Night Rivals. We saw Hammond last week, First Baptist here. Owens goes right into Mikey Blandon. Nope, that was 44. That's Caine Moses. Play alike,
He's
look
got to
alike.
have double-digit tackles by now.
I mean, you got those two linebackers out there. It's almost as though you're playing with an extra guy.
Yeah, and then Caleb Washington, 24, can drop back in coverage.
Yeah, he also plays on the end. This play never had a chance. Pisano could have taken that handoff.
Watch him come from the weak side. He comes fast. He's just slow to develop.
Yeah. It was slow enough that Pisano slowed down as he got to the quarterback. And Will Owens at that mesh point.
Another critical third down play here.
3rd and long. Set up a little bit of a screen here to Owens, and he takes it right into the middle of the field, the heart of that defense.
It's best to swim away from the shark.
Uh-huh.
Right, he had an open sideline to his left.
There was a shark spotted pretty close to the beach on Isle of Palms today.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked a lot like Blandon and Moses. Just swarming.
This time, Viehwger will punt. And it's a better snap than he has had to deal with in the first half, and gets a decent roll out of it. 27-yard line, that's where the Hurricanes will begin, up 21-7 here in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I can tell that first 4 minutes of this game really, I think, took a little bit out of Ben Lippen. I mean, they had opportunity and then not able to do anything with it.
Kaine Roofing is proud to present each participating homeschool a check for $500. This grant provides each school with extra funding to help make their school great. Over the past 10 seasons, Friday Night Rivals and our sponsors have donated over $100,000. Low Country students and schools, congratulations from MyTV Charleston, ABC News 4, and Kaine Roofing. Last time they had it, Davian Brown didn't touch it. Just 3 passing plays. We're going to go to the air here again, and a lot of miscommunication there, looking for Ravenel.
Yeah, I would say looking back, Johnny Waters would tell you that his offense just wasn't in sync. They were able to make some couple big plays, but as for boom, boom, boom down the field.
Yeah, and there you go again. That snap drifts Daniel a couple of yards to his right. And it'll be 3rd down and long.
Again, not handing the ball off to Davian Brown. Nice job by Ravenel holding his block, allowing Daniel to pick up a few more yards.
Maybe the Canes working on something in their passing game here. Daniel's well protected, and this one is overshot. So they're going to punt it away again. 2 straight possessions without Davian Brown touching the ball.
This sideline, Mike, almost as entertaining as the game.
You know, it's been true, though, once sports have returned in this pandemic. All across the landscape of sports. You even had Scott Van Pelt on SportsCenter saying the S word, which is not something you would typically hear, and then it was defended by Van Pelt, basically saying, look, maybe it's time we forget about these little rules. Can't advance that fumbled punt, but what a break it is for Ben Lippen to recover it.
Like the heads-up play.
So, after the kick there from McGinnis, and the heads-up work from Plush.
That is the true definition of fumbling the ball forward.
Yes, quite literal. So in college football, we know we got Clemson coming up tomorrow night, Wake Forest. It'll be on ABC News 4, our sister station, at 7:30.
Yes.
Some of the other intriguing games.
Yes.
I think Syracuse, North Carolina is one to keep an eye on. I think Florida State and Georgia Tech is one to keep an eye on. Just a lot of unknowns. That pass went backwards. It was brought in by Crooks, and he won't get back to the line of scrimmage. Kaine Moses leads the charge.
Made a couple of nice moves just to pick up 2 or 3 yards.
One of the big questions in the ACC was also Miami. We saw them last night. De'Aaron King, the transfer from Houston, wasn't wonderful
Overly
throwing
impressed?
the ball. No, running the ball.
King can
looked
run the
good.
ball.
He can run the ball.
But that game was a little closer than I thought it would be.
I wonder if that offense was purposeful in its nature of being bland and hiding stuff for Miami, or if that's what they're going to be. And if that's what they're going to be, is it good enough to go through the ACC?
Got to be able to throw the ball.
Yes.
Much like Ben Lippen here.
Yes.
Another high throw. Got some pressure off the edge. But again, a 3rd and long situation where, again, they've had success running the ball, even if it's 3 or 4 yards on the first down. And you're putting yourself in a tough situation here where the rush has been killing you.
He takes something off that, and he throws it to Kaine Moses. Kaine Moses has speed, too. And Moses has the power to drag Will Owens.
And he gets the touchdown.
He gets it. So Will Daniel has a couple touchdowns in the first half. The defense with a couple pick sixes here in the second. The sophomore Kaine Moses here.
Does a nice job stepping up. And then just kind of throws a changeup. Moses is parting the white jerseys. There you go.
Johnny Waters said he's going to be a good one. He compared this sophomore to 2 of the better linebackers that First Baptist has seen in recent years, both Timothy Campbell and Jackson Watson. We've seen him making plays. Oof, we haven't seen that yet. McGinnis yanking one.
You know, it's a lot like when you go out and play golf, you hit a great drive, hit a nice iron, nice putt, and then all of a sudden the next play, and the next shot, just yank it to the left.
Yeah, like a 300-yard drive. You're sitting there in prime position. You got like 80 yards to the hole.
And you have no idea why.
And then you just shank one into the trees.
Yeah.
Thinking birdie, and it's a double bogey.
You know, you don't say this often. This is a game, this quarter has had absolutely no flow to it.
None.
But 2 touchdowns. How does that work?
Started with an onside kick, a pooched one.
Yep.
And eventually Ben Lippen scored on that one, and then First Baptist hasn't done anything offensively. They've gone 3 and out twice in this quarter and have scored 13 points.
Yep.
So the tough season for Ben Lippen extending here a little bit. But their offense is getting plenty of reps here. You know, I'll give it to First Baptist. 500 fans in attendance. And it seems like a pretty good atmosphere there.
Yeah.
Doing their best to socially distance as much as possible. Limiting those tickets to 500. It typically can seat as many as 2,000.
I will tell you, you were not able to join us last year. You were
somewhere.
You were in Brownsville, Texas, or somewhere. But it was a great night, and the setup was fantastic. Mm-hmm. It was a good football game. Facilities are top notch for a Skeeza school. And they loved having us there.
Yeah.
Find a lane and hit him, he said.
It's pretty simple instructions. Here's Plush diving his way out to the 35.
So, yeah, when you're able to showcase a facility like that, you get a great education.
Mm-hmm.
You have players then start moving on to the next level. You become a magnet.
That's right. And that's how smaller programs like this, like Porter-Gaud, like Hammond, like Ben Lippen, that's how you build it. I wonder how Clemson will use Mikey Dukes.
I don't know. They get, every year they get another 4 or 5-star guy walks in there.
Yeah. Apparently he's been repping at a lot of different positions in camp.
Here we go.
First time they've done this, bringing a receiver in motion to take the handoff.
Jalen Moore, senior running back. Another nice job of Nils kind of waiting and reading that pressure before he hands the ball off. But again, he picks up 4 or 5 yards. I think both of these teams kind of abandoned the run here in the last 30 minutes or so.
Got the backup, the runner in, striker Gandy. And the defense bit on the play fake. Gandy will have enough for the first down. Jalen Hayward there for the stop. The first down brought to you by West Shore Homes. Take that bathtub, turn it into a spacious modern shower in one day.
Gandy transferred in from Pendleton High School.
Time of possession, field position. The stats in this game will be very interesting. They won't make a whole lot of sense.
No, because you're going to see Davian Brown rushing for 89 yards in the first half and none in the third quarter.
Opportunity there for Davis Holt. Ball was a little bit low.
Still threw a little zip on the ball.
And you've got Ben Lippen making a living around midfield, but only 1 touchdown to show for it.
That's what Coach Reynolds, his interview at halftime. It's like once we get to the ball at the 50, we've got to get some first downs.
Yeah. You see teams struggle in the red zone. You see teams struggle when they get to like the 10 as the field tightens up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But in this area, you got to be able to get down to the red zone. And Gandy will pick up maybe 4 there on second down.
I feel like, looks like, they pick up 3 or 4 yards whenever they want on the ground.
Yeah.
I don't know why they. I mean, you would think on your first down play, you're hitting that every time until they stop you.
Gandy will stay in for third down. The other times we've seen Gandy, he's come out on third down, on a passing down.
I'm going to guess we're going to see Gandy the majority of the game here. Blitz up the middle.
There's a better ball. That's a first down. And inside of the 25-yard line. Was that 18 on the reception, Chris Twitty? It sure was.
Striker able to make the strike only because the pressure came from the linebackers. They brought pressure up the middle, and it gave him an opportunity to find that lane. So they need obviously a score here. You want to try to get it before the third quarter.
3 guys who haven't played a ton in this game have been impactful on this drive. One of them has the ball here, Gandy. The other was on the receiving end of the first down, Twitty. That was the first time he's been heard from. And the rush from Jalen Moore, who's also remaining out there on the field. So James Reynolds has decided to go with a couple different guys here, and they're moving the ball.
I think Striker had to do that again. That run would have gone a little bit more to the right side. That's where his wall was set up, had a little bit of a lane.
He'll throw it to the right side this time. Chandler Crooks makes a move. Crooks has a first down, and Ben Lippen is set up inside of the red zone with about 30 seconds left here in the third.
Looked like Adonis Cole had a beat on that. And the next thing you know, watch number 15 step up.
Yeah.
Almost like he over pursued the play.
Slowed down as he got close.
Nice job by Jenkins trailing it. See if they're going to try to get this play off before the quarter.
Looks like they will. And the play fake. Gandy keeps it, and he's tripped up by Blandon.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was open.
Why he doesn't have an offer to go somewhere right now, I don't know.
We're going to hear from Cruz Chevrolet as we take a time out here. 3 quarters in the books on Keating Friday Night Rivals, driven by the folks you're about to hear from, Cruz Chevrolet. Ben Lippen's on the move as we begin the fourth quarter. Alongside Dean Stevens, I'm Darren Goldwater. I guess to say alongside would not be correct. In front of Dean Stevens,
Yep.
I'm Darren Goldwater. We have plexiglass in between us. Back at the Channel 4 studios, Skylar Gandy stays in and launches one out of the back of the end zone. Called him Skylar. His name's Stryker, and he has been very good on this drive. It's been the best drive consistency-wise that the Falcons have strung together all game.
Brought a little energy to that offense. He wanted a little fade route, but his defender had beaten the guy to the end zone. That was almost a situation where the wide receiver could have just cut across. He had him wide open.
This is third down here, third down and goal. Gandy, yeah, I mean, half the defense wasn't blocked, and it's going to be, again, Mikey Blandon. He had 10 tackles in the first half.
I've got him at 15 now.
Okay.
I was trying to think of the linebacker he reminded me of, Darrell Ware, who played at Fort Dorchester a couple of years ago. He had some small offers, and then he ended up walking on at Carolina. We'll see how he develops there, but he was 6'1", 2 1/4.
First Baptist doesn't list on their official roster height and weight. Let's take a look at our Will Lou Gray never stop learning stop of the game. Wasn't really a stop, it was more of a pick. But I guess the defense stopped the offense. And Cole takes it back to the house. One of two pick sixes in the third quarter for your Will Lou Gray never stop learning stop of the game. So a timeout taken here before this fourth down play.
So you said First Baptist doesn't list size.
Yeah, neither does Ben Lippen.
We're going to try a little field goal here.
Stryker Gandy is the holder. And it's good. Snuck it inside the right upright, did Micah Smith. And Ben Lippen has more points tonight than they've had in their first two games.
I like that call a lot.
Right? Confidence?
Just a little bit, just to keep it going. Right? It may, point-wise, you're thinking they need to score a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence-wise, they had a nice drive. Let's finish it off, get something positive.
Mikey Blandon, also an accomplished basketball player for First Baptist.
I believe Antoine Sanders, their basketball coach.
Okay.
If I'm a gambling man.
Which you've already told me you're not.
I'm not a gambling man.
No.
No. I know I've got people watching right now. If I'm wrong, they're going to text me in about 5 seconds.
I'm just going to believe you. You're generally right about most things.
Well, I'll tell you this. Took my wife about...
Oh, your wife has never mentioned what I just mentioned. Like, be honest.
No. At one point in our... At one point, she finally looked at my kids and said, "Your father is so full of it." Like, every time. Anyway, try to not talk about our kids this week.
We'll talk about the kids you're watching on TV here a little bit. That kick went out of bounds. And First Baptist won't make them kick it again. They'll take it, I guess, at the 35. That's what it looks like here.
Yes, Antoine is the head basketball coach. Helps lead the TMP program.
There you go. That's a program.
He's a good man.
From
There
the
we
35,
go.
look, Davian Brown touches it, and nobody touches him. That's going to be 65 yards for Davian Brown on his first touch of the second half.
From the 35.
Yep. And
You know,
Davian Brown sprints his way over 100 yards for the night. Daniel shakes his head. Let's just do that. Let's give the ball to him.
That's 164 on the night. You know what I'd love to do? I would like to see how fast he was at first. Once he gets straightened out.
Right, this burst right here.
Yep.
It reminds me of when you see videos of people on a treadmill cranking it up.
Yes.
And just staying on as long as he possibly can before you just jump onto the sides.
Yes.
That's how fast his legs were moving. They've missed another extra point, so it's just 33-10 now for First Baptist. Unfortunately for Skeezer Schools, Davian Brown's a freshman. You saw him last year as an 8th grader, and you still have 4 years of him. 33-10 Hurricanes. Similar to college, you can have 5 years of eligibility in high school if you play as an 8th grader. That's what Davian Brown's done, and now he is a freshman. And he just went 65 yards in about 5 seconds. And extended the lead to 33-10. That ball may have gone out of bounds. Who is it, Plush? Plush
yeah, this
will...
kid, no, he wants to run the ball.
Yeah. And he gets it right about where they would have had it had the ball gone out of bounds. Let's crunch numbers. And it's brought to you by Anderson Brothers Bank. We're taking a look at some of the South Carolina polls right now. These schools get going in a week, 2 weeks. Fort Dorchester, the number 2 preseason team in 4A.
I don't like this at all. I know.
Myrtle Beach and Berkeley in 3A. Myrtle Beach is where Luke Doty, the highly touted Gamecock freshman, is where he came from. Might play some quarterback, might play some wide receiver, might play all over the field.
Yeah, they said they've just got to find a place for him on the field.
It's interesting. Will Muschamp said he asked all of his coaches to put out their best 11 on both sides and just put names out and let me see them.
Yep.
And almost all of the coaches had Will Doty somewhere, Luke Doty somewhere. Mm-hmm. Not a quarterback, but he was all over the place. Both sides of the ball. Just got to find a way to get him on the field. That's Jalen Moore. He was in on the last drive for Ben Lippen, which was one of their better ones of the day. That drive was quarterbacked by Striker Gandy, but this is back to Nils Viehwger.
What I want Nick the Great to do, I want to get a wide shot of that run by Davian Brown. I've got the stopwatch ready, and we'll just clock the 40 on him. We'll have a very unofficial time.
It's about as unofficial as it gets, but I'm in. Viehwger protects the ball.
Moses there. My goodness. All right, here we
All
go.
right, you ready with the stopwatch?
Yeah, you tell me where.
Well, wait a second.
Let's pick him up.
This is the wrong team, and he had to cut away from that replay.
Very fast. We'll do it after this play.
Hey, if you're a Braves fan, good news. 3 runs in the 9th inning to tie the Nationals after trailing 5-0. It's now 7-all going to the bottom of the 9th.
Get that off of the pitcher you paid a lot of money for that used to play for my team.
I'm not sure who was on the mound. But it's back-to-back nights. The Nationals have blown one.
We're going to go back inside.
Oof. Man, we should clock the 40 time of some of these defenders.
Now it's just domination. Charlie Ackerman.
All right, you ready, Dean?
Yep, I'm ready. Let's pick him up at the 40.
And now.
That wasn't right. That was 20 yards, not 40.
No, it was from the 40.
And then I clicked it off at the 40.
Oh.
Got to do that again.
I'm not sure how accurate that would have been.
No, it's fine. Listen, I've been doing this with pop times for a long time. Trust me.
An accomplished 40-yard dash estimator, Dean Stevens, with me here for Friday Night Rivals as this punt goes out of bounds.
All right, I got it this time. Yeah. How about I go from the 50 to the... I'll go from the 40 to the 20. Let's do it. 40 to 20.
See, not this 40.
Yes, that one.
Okay. Stop.
That's the 40. So my unofficial time on that was 4.1.
I'm going to go ahead and guess he did not run a 4.140 in pads.
I'm telling you.
But hey, maybe.
We're going to have this guy. He'll be the next running back at Clemson. He'll be the next running back at Clemson to go.
If he's running a 4.140, he can go anywhere he wants to go.
Why wouldn't you go to Clemson?
He may as well.
Stokes is going to end up at Carolina. What? Was he a junior, right?
Oh, C.J. Stokes is a junior.
Right?
Yeah. Up here he is again.
Oh, I see.
One little cut.
So what we did is we threw the ball the entire third quarter to soften up the defense.
Yes. Make you forget about the bowling ball with speed.
So we have there plus 10.
Got a first down presented by Limerick Heating and Air. And a timeout for James Reynolds. Say hello to his brother, John. John's listening in Columbia, taking a break from helping out with the Gamecocks basketball team where he is on staff. Player of the game, who's it going to be? It's going to be Davian Brown. Yes, our U.S. Marine Corps player of the game who runs a 4.1 unofficial 40. Unofficial, folks, unofficial. And he's got 100-some-odd yards tonight. And I touched on the fact that Ben Lippen has had a rough start to the season. They've already had to play C.J. Stokes at Hammond.
Yep.
And now they get Davian Brown 2 weeks later. They'll be ready to see good running backs as the season goes along. And they won't see two that are much better than these two.
I'm going to ask my man, Frankie Mansfield, who's at the game covering this.
Yeah, he told me he was at the game, but he could be at Porter Gown. But he'll know the answer. Frankie was actually on this afternoon on the fastest growing sports show in the country.
Which one's that?
JB and Goldwater.
What time's that on?
It's on 12 to 2 Eastern Standard Time. And you can find it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everyone's social media, YouTube.
Nope, it's
everywhere.
It's a Shelton game.
Yes. Shelton's there.
Far left.
Shelton was not on the show today. Frankie Mansfield was, though. And if you missed it, you can go back and watch it. Twitter, Facebook. You can even go just download the podcast and rate it 5 stars if you'd like. And we talked a little bit about this First Baptist offense, and he thought that they would be able to have some success today. He thought Davian Brown would be able to show off a bit. This is Ravenel. And nobody knows high school sports in this area as well as Frankie and David Shelton.
Why don't you text Shelton? Because you got his number, right?
I do.
Text him and ask him after the game. Ask Davian how fast he runs a 40. Because I got him at 4.14. Now they're going to go back to the pass. Daniel down the right side.
Oh, what a catch. Heck of a grab by Doug Fishburne. Now they're just pouring it on.
By the way, another sophomore.
And another one who Waters really likes. There might be a flag down. looks like the celebration has been tempered quite a bit.
Fishburne came into the game with 4 catches for 152 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's in 2 games. Unnecessary roughness against Ben Lippen. But, I mean, if you look at those stats, 4 for 152, he's a big strike guy.
So it'll stand up. And celebrations around here for First Baptist.
I think the defense maybe started giving it to the offense a little bit for First Baptist, saying we've got more touchdowns than you do.
And they did. Here's Plesha now, the backup kicker. And it's 40-10. Ben Lippen getting just worn down a little bit. The offense has had its moments, but just stalls out as it gets around midfield. That's been a pretty familiar story. How about a Cruz Chevrolet drive of the game? You got a friend in the car business at Cruz Chevrolet. And our drive of the game will be this one. The ball driven into Kaine Moses, who drives his way into the end zone by carrying Will Owens for your Cruz Chevrolet drive of the game.
I mean, if he was going to be a Chevy, he's not one of the Chevy trucks. He's not a Corvette, right?
No, he's got to be something with a little bit more power, but also with the speed. I'm not a big car guy, so I don't have a list of the great Chevys, but I would agree it's not like a Camaro.
No.
And it's not the Tahoe, because you got to be a little bit more speedy than he is spacious.
Well, we can go maybe the Trailblazer.
Oh, I don't know what that looks like, but it sounds good. By the way, neon T alert. You pointed that out last week. It's another green neon T.
Maybe more the Traverse.
Yeah, the Chevy Traverse. I've actually had one of those as a rental car. That'll work. Soup it up a little. Get a little giddy up in that thing.
Yeah.
So the new nickname for Kaine Moses is Traverse. I don't think you'll like it. David Shelton says that that Davian Brown is not Deion Sanders, so he probably doesn't run a 4.1, which we're aware of. I'm just trying to get accuracy here.
Listen,
Chevy Blazer is also a good idea.
Go back to that highlight again, and I'll time them again. We'll see how close.
You're going to time them again, you're going to be like a second and a half different from your first one.
I will tell you, I bought a Malibu from Cruz Chevrolet.
Yeah.
It's a great car.
I've had that car as a rental as well. Oh, he picked it up. It almost stepped on the sideline.
I think McGinnis has got something over there. That ball just dies.
Well, it's the second time Plush has decided to just make something.
I think that ball just dies right there if he doesn't pick it up.
You think so?
I do.
Well, if that is the case, then Plush made a great decision by picking that thing up. Yeah, it was still moving. He picked that thing up in the air.
Porter-Gaud down 28-0 when Frankie departed.
Against Lawrence Manning, the team that had First Baptist on the ropes last week. Canes won at 17-14 to move to 2-0. Viehwger over the middle. Was that dropped after the hit? No, he held on to it. Carter Moore on the reception there.
I believe that is tackle number 16.
I think that number is more accurate than 4-1.
Frankie texted me, question mark, 4-6, 4-5. These guys are so wrong.
No, maybe 3-9. First down brought to you by Limerick Heating and Air. Here's Jalen Moore now. And he sees, hey, let's give him another tackle. That's Mikey Blandon. He was in on that stop.
You give him a full tackle on that, or you give him a half?
Yeah, I'd give him a half.
I don't count halves.
Oh. Sorry.
I mean, if we're going to give props to anybody, give it to Caleb Washington. Slowed him down. They're planning to clean up the mess.
Okay.
Don't have to worry about filling now.
Our man T. Graff getting some words in on the big broadcast tonight. Ben Lippen uses their last timeout.
First Baptist filling up the scoreboard.
Nick, I want that highlight back again.
Dean's convinced that Davian Brown runs 4-1.
All right, so it's not a 4-1, but it's not a 4-5, 4-6 either.
I don't think it's faster than a 4-6, I think. CJ Stokes, who we saw last week,
yes,
was officially clocked with a laser at 4-4.
I'm not that fast. Hold on.
You're not even ready for this thing.
I got it.
Oh, he slowed down there at the end.
4-3-2, that one. From the 50 to the 10.
So that's still blazing speed. But I think we're closer to the number. I wonder. Too bad I can't text Coach Waters right now. He probably wouldn't answer.
Try it. Try it. All right, but here's what we're missing as well, right? Even if it's a 4-5, right?
Yeah.
What are the odds a ninth grade kid gets faster in 3 years?
Very good odds of that.
Thank you.
That ball was almost dropped, and a little bit of a hesitation here before a stiff arm gets Kraft to the outside.
Big fan of the stiff arm, by the way.
Are you?
Yeah. Walter Payton delivered the best of them.
Oh, yeah. Sweetness.
Yeah. He'd hurt you. Oh, you're right. That ball almost came out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. First carry of the game right there for Kraft.
Sophomore running back. Coaches like that.
And we must have a flag.
Are they calling out the chains?
That could also be a possibility. That's...
Yep.
Yeah, here come the chains. One of the perks of doing games not on site. There's a couple things that you got to have to just wait and see what happens.
It's called patience.
I don't have much. That's why I'm texting Coach Waters right now to see how fast Davian Brown is.
What are the odds he texts you back?
I don't know, but man, do I hope it happens.
I'm going to say less than 20%.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine it's less than 5, but look, it's like a contract situation. You're not going to get the money if you don't ask for it.
Right.
So you got to try. It was enough for the first down. The Limerick Heating and Air first down. All right, so now on first down, through the middle. There hasn't been a whole lot of room through the middle, but Kraft will find about 4 yards.
It'll be 17 tackles on the night for Mikey Blandon.
Second down and about 6. Nils Viehwger, that ball was caught again. A couple times here, there have been balls sliding down the pads and close to the knees. One on a run from Kraft, and this time Carter Moore holds on.
That play's worked well. You know, one of the downsides of what we do is we're so accessible by text messages, social media, emails.
Yes. Oh, Kraft. I don't think his knee went down.
I don't think his knee went down either.
It looked painful. Fortunately, he looks to be okay as well.
So, simply saying, people can get a hold of us and tell us whatever they want.
Yeah, it did go down. Are you getting love?
Well, last week I had a guy complain because late in the game we didn't talk about a drive that was supposed to be the best drive of the game, but we were talking about our kids too much. So we want to talk about our kids.
Yeah.
But now one of the worst just one of the worst disses we've ever had.
Uh-oh.
We're going to go deep. No, we're going to go
Oh,
short.
nice tackle. Coming up, John Ravenel.
We've talked so highly of Frankie Mansfield tonight. He just texted. He said, been watching you guys on mute.
What?
Just turned up volume. Ha, ha, ha. What are you like?
That's not funny.
18, Frankie? Listening to the debate.
So you didn't even hear me give you props for being on the fastest growing show in the country, JB and Goldwater, from 12 to 2 every day?
No. It's all good. Ball on the ground.
Uh-oh. Mason Floyd falls back down on it. Everybody knows you watch a sporting event for the announcers.
But I'm going to be honest with you. The announcers that I don't like, I turn them down. Right? Like, I can't stand.
It's hard for me to watch an announcer I don't like. Very hard. But there aren't very many that I don't like that much.
The TV crew that handles my favorite baseball team, I can't listen to them.
See, that's rough.
The TV. The radio guys are spectacular.
That's rough. Because it's your favorite baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
I've grown to love the guys on my favorite team.
I will listen to the road team. Like the Giants are really good. A's are really good.
The Giants have one of the best broadcast crews, TV and radio, every year. Here's Kraft again. Kraft has been making a case for some more carries. So did Jalen Moore. And we haven't seen Striker Gandy since that decent drive that he put together. That ball turned it over on downs there on that 4th down run. So Hurricanes ball here with 3:40 and change.
No response from Coach Waters yet?
Not yet. I'm sure he's getting on it, though.
And if you missed it earlier, Saturday night, tomorrow night, Clemson, Wake Forest. Sam Hartman taking over the Demon Deacons offense. Went to Oceanside. There's quarterback there with Coach Greer. Jamie Newman transferring to Georgia.
And then sitting out.
And then opting out.
Yeah. It's an interesting situation. Cooper Glazer, true freshman in a quarterback. And that's the first carry of the game for Patrick Roberts. So a freshman hands one off to a sophomore.
Yeah, there will be a huge hole in this offense when Will Daniel graduates.
Sam Hartman, apparently, when he was at Oceanside, was like 175. And he's listed at 215 now.
Yeah.
Apparently, he is jacked with, he's always been able to throw the ball. Apparently, he's put on some strength. Big opportunity for Hartman tomorrow. Roberts eventually does take that handoff. Wiggles his way for a little bit. If you're just joining us, catching the end, the first quarter saw a Will Daniel touchdown pass. Then it was a Will Daniel touchdown run to put him up 14-0. That was the score at the half when Ben Lippen had a goal line stand towards the end of the second quarter. A couple of pick sixes in the third quarter. Then Davian Brown ran a 4.1 40 for a 65-yard touchdown and opened things up.
I did need to clarify. So apparently, Frankie is currently at another football game.
It's not my problem.
Watch.
So that game is on mute. Our game should be on, if you're listening and watching, you got your eyes on your game, so you may as well have your ears on another game. This isn't that complicated. I guess we got to school up these newspaper guys a little bit.
Well, that's the beauty of the earbud.
Yeah.
Right? You can just have the earbud in and people
Nobody
don't even
knows
know what you're doing.
From about the 30, it's a 15-yard return for Davis Holt. He's been pretty busy playing in all three phases of the game. No timeouts, 2 minutes left here. Falcons have scored more points than they had scored in their first two games, but they will fall to 0-3. First Baptist will improve to 3-0. Three very different games for the Hurricanes. Big win in week one against a two-time reigning state champ. Fought their way through Lawrence Manning in week two. Quite an odd box score in this game. But in the end, it's a comfortable win.
So for First Baptist, they go to Augusta Christian next week, or on the 25th. And they got Heathwood. And then they host Hammond.
Mm-hmm. That'll be a big one. Viehwger to the air and incomplete. One to Plush.
Finish up with Pinewood and Porter Gowd. So everything kind of lines up for October 9th showdown with Hammond.
Mm-hmm. Two good running backs that'll be on display.
Really fast running backs. One really, really fast running
Yeah,
back.
according to Dean, one of them who we've seen tonight runs a 4.1.
Anywhere from a 4.14 to a 4.34. That's all I'm saying.
I'm going to go more in the 4.5 range, but since we are so accessible on Twitter, Coach Waters will get back to me tonight.
And you're going to post that.
I'll throw that up. Yeah. I think it's very, very probable that I get that answer sooner rather than later after the game.
I will turn my notifications on.
Not sure what the pause is here. And both teams seem very content to just run the football here and run out this clock. And yet that's not happening. Well, that's why. Dead ball, late hit, personal foul. So now it gives the Falcons a chance to score more.
Hand it off 3 times. Let's get out of here.
Not sure who that is, but we should pay them. It's some quality
sideline analysis,
quality chirps.
Well, there's one. And Kraft is down.
Mo Blandon. I believe that's 18. Just to kind of give you a heads up of what we got coming up. We're going to take an off week next week. And then we jump into Stratford at Somerville.
Oof.
And that's September 25th. And then an emotional October 2nd game, Berkeley at Wando, our first game at Bob Hayes Field. It's the passing of the longtime football coach and athletic director here in the Low Country.
Here's Kraft, who stays inbounds. Brings up 3rd down.
As we get into our October schedule, it's Colleton County at James Island.
Pretty close to where this game's being played.
Yep. Stahl at Kaine Bay. Stahl's had a couple impressive wins the last couple of years. Done a nice job there. And then on the 23rd of October, Somerville at Fort Dorchester.
That game could decide the region. Stratford's supposed to be better as well this year.
Goose Creek at Ashley Ridge.
Another big game. Kraft
just put
applying the hit. Look at that,
man.
Kraft laid out more. Moses.
And then I think Goose Creek's going to be really good this year.
They're trending that way.
They've got a mention in the top for the high school football poll.
Mm-hmm.
And then Philip Simmons at Bishop England. And then we're going to televise the first round of a playoff game, which is flagged down. Landon's helmet comes off.
18 seconds left. There you go. That's the next game. It is not next week. It is the next game. So it is 2 weeks from tonight. It is the day before South Carolina opens their season against the Vols of Tennessee.
I'm trying to go through here. Somerville with a new coach, Ian Rafferty.
Yeah, Wando's got a new coach.
Wando with a new coach. James Island with a new coach.
Yes.
Ashley Ridge with a new coach.
Yes.
And I believe that's it on our schedule.
Still, that's a lot of changes in the Low Country.
There were a ton of openings. I think at one point there were 9 or 10. Oof. Oceanside, Joe Call.
That's right.
From Somerville to Oceanside.
Possibly the final play of the game here. Kraft uses that Walter Payton stiff arm and is tackled then by Rumelat. And that will be that for Keating Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. So here's what we're going to do. We will take a break. We will come back. We will present the next best thing to the Lombardi Trophy, our Friday night Rivals Trophy. And we'll give that to the folks at First Baptist and Johnny Waters. They are 3-0. They've beaten Ben Lippen 40-10 on Keating Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Stick with us here. Davian Brown put on a show as expected. Will Daniel accounts for a couple of touchdowns, one in the air, one on the ground. The defense, a couple of pick sixes. First Baptist, pretty complete win over Ben Lippen here, 40-10. They move to 3-0, and it's time for the trophy celebration for the Hurricanes.
We look at James Reynolds, the head coach of Ben Lippen. His message probably a lot like what he told us at halftime. You got to make first downs. Got to be cleaner with the play. And defensively, that's what got First Baptist rolling today. It wasn't as if their offense was stuttering early on. They just couldn't get any results.
Yep.
Stopped inside the 5-yard line on 3 different plays. And then those back-to-back interceptions, pick sixes.
It's tough, though, for Ben Lippen. Like the hour and a half, 2-hour trip down to James Island and fall to 0-3. It's been a team that has had its fair share of adversity this year. It has not been a smooth year at all for the Falcons. At least a smooth start to the year. But they have 2 of the top teams on their schedule out of the way already. They've already played Hammond. They've played First Baptist. So you take what you can from week 1 and week 3 and move on if you're James Reynolds and the Falcons. And we're awaiting First Baptist and Johnny Waters. We're awaiting them wanting to celebrate. They just won a football game. They look like they are ready to take a nap.
Coach Waters is taking his time answering your text.
He has not yet done so. But if that's not eager anticipation of a trophy ceremony, I don't know what is. Coming up tomorrow night, 7:30 on our sister station, My TV Charleston. We are on My TV Charleston. Our sister station would be ABC News 4. And that's where the game's going to be. Sam Hartman and Wake Forest will host the Clemson Tigers. 7:30 tomorrow night. And don't forget tonight, you can tune in to Friday Night Rivals for a complete rundown of the scores from around the Low Country. A little bit of a tightened schedule once again in the early weeks that will start to expand next week and the week after and then through the season. So one thing's for sure, we've got high school football being played around the country. We've got college football that has started up. We've got the ACC kicking off tomorrow. We got the SEC a couple of weeks later and the Big Ten next year. Hopefully.
What we do know for sure is that Penn State will not be playing for a while.
Nope.
Neither will Ohio State.
Nope. Neither will Minnesota. Minnesota voted down a proposal today to work towards playing fall sports, including football, as safely and as soon as possible, and they voted that down. So Minnesota is not interested in playing. And First Baptist isn't interested in having a trophy celebration. So for whatever reason, I'm sure they are valid, we just don't know what they are.
They're going to
go to their coach. That's what's going on. Johnny Waters was waiting for them.
And again, one of the hiccups of COVID coverage of sporting events where we have a skeleton staff on hand.
You see Johnny Waters wanting to make sure that everybody is socially distanced here.
Here's my question, and not to question, but here's my question. In a game
this doesn't sound like you're questioning.
In a game where you've been tackling and playing 11 on 11 for 2.5 hours.
Yep.
Why social distance at the end of the game? We've got some questions that we're going to be asking of Coach Waters here. Let's take a listen.
Here you go, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you,
Took
thank
a
you.
while, but the offense finally clicked.
Yeah.
What started it?
Well, like I said, we're a young ball club, and it's coming. I'm real excited. I'm real excited about it. But the defense actually made everything click. You know, we got 2 pick six last week. Got a pick. Our defense is playing stellar, and we're playing a lot of young guys, and we're playing a lot of guys. So it's coming. I'm actually very, very pleased.
How do you think those 2 defensive scores were for you?
Oh my gosh! I mean, you know, they're huge. They're huge. They're huge all the time. You know, so no, I'm tickled to death with them. I mean, they work hard. You know, Kaine's been telling me he wants to play wide receiver. I said, you can stick right now at linebacker. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, they wanted it. They wanted to come running for it. They'll have to settle for it in the trophy case, I guess.
There you go.
It's Johnny Waters and First Baptist. Congratulations. Pretty complete game. Defense did it for them. And they win it 40-10, your final score on Keating Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Thanks to all our sponsors for making FNR possible. Next week, we're off, do not forget. But the following week, Stratford and Somerville. 40-10, your final score tonight on the somberest of days, 9/11. A former member of the FDNY and NYPD with the coin toss to start it off, and First Baptist finished it off. Later tonight, tune to Friday Night Rivals at 11 for a complete rundown of all the scores. We'll see you next week, or the week after, we should say, on Keating Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. For Nick Case, our awesome producer and director, and Dean Stevens, who's equally awesome, I'm Darren Goldwater. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.